Hey, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own barbecue table. So let's get started. Alright, this project is much easier than you might think. I've built 3 tables for my big green eggs, and this is my first table for the Kamado Joe, and the process is very similar. So if you have a big green egg and you want to make a table, or if you have a Kamado Joe like the ones that I'm showing in the video, follow along and I'll give you some of the tips that I've learned. So today we're going to be building a table for 2 Kamado Joe Classic 3s. They're a little bit taller than the large big green egg and a little bit taller than a Classic 2 Kamado Joe. And so the only difference or modification you would need to make to this table is 2 things. One, the depth down that you install your second shelf. For these Kamado Joe Classic 3s, I wanted about 17 inches of clearance. And for a big green egg, on my last table that I did about 14.5 inches, and I used the big green egg nest underneath in order to give it some clearance from the stone. And on the Kamado Joe, I'm using the Kamado Joe feet, which give you that air gap that you need underneath. So for this table, I decided to do full lap joints. My first few tables, I started off with very thin boards, and I noticed as I was drilling into them, despite sort of best effort, I'd eventually get a split, or after a season or 2, you'd see some splitting or cracking in the wood. Version 2 table that I built, I went from very thin wood to 2x4s. And that one was much better. And then the big green egg table that I built last for my large and for my mini max, I went to 4x4 post, which is where I picked up on this project. So what I've done for this table is I've done lap joints, which you see me cutting out right now. So a lap joint, full lap joint, is where you have your joints and everything fits together nice and flush. And you're able to then glue and screw into that and have full strength supporting a concrete top and 2 Kamados. So the way to do that is to just do an X across the end of the board, set your miter saw depth, and you'll be able to saw and make those cuts and chisel everything out quite easily. To help join everything, I used a biscuit saw and installed biscuits in my doors, as well as the pull-out extension. Use a lot of glue, a lot of wood screws, but again, using the full lap joints, this thing isn't going to go anywhere. What you see me doing now is just cutting out some miter cuts for the door hinges. So I did a 45-degree cut and trim, and now I'm going to make the pull-out shelf. So I used 3 larger pieces of wood. Same process for making the door is use biscuits, join them together, glue it, leave it overnight. Flip it upside down. I'm installing the wheels now. You're going to want that for being able to move it around. This table will get very heavy with the porcelain tiles installed, let alone with 2 barbecues and the concrete top. So I went for about 175-pound weighted rated wheel, and there was 8 of them, so more than enough to support the weight. I'm filling the holes using leftover sawdust. So save some of that and just mix it with wood glue, and you're able to fill in the holes quite easily. And now we're getting ready to start making our concrete table form. And so to do this, I got some foam board, which is about 2.5 inches thick, and the height of my side melamine table is about 2.25, so there's a little bit of extra clearance. So I just cut the melamine down to size, cut the boards down to size, and then using a piece of leftover scrap wood, just made a compass here. So a small end for a nail, and I just drilled out a larger piece for a pencil, and you're able to quickly draw any size circle that you want. And so I think these were just about 23 inches, and so that made it easy for me to draw the holes on the melamine and then draw the holes on the hardboard as well. So now you're going to silicone everything in so the concrete doesn't get in, and so I use silicone, and then I put a bit of Windex on the silicone after to be able to wipe it off and clean it off really easy, and then let that dry. Next, you're going to want to get some mesh and cut it out around the shape of the holes, and you want that support structure going lengthways, because that's the way that the concrete will be under stress. I used quick dry concrete for this project. If I did it again, I'd probably go something a little bit slower curing. This was cured in less than an hour. In fact, despite having a mixer, it was drying as we were pouring it in as quickly as we could make it. But nonetheless, it turned out great. I'm really happy with it. Concrete was much easier than I thought it would be to do, and I can't wait to do it again for a future project. So all you have to do with concrete is sand it, seal it with an outdoor food safe sealer, and same thing for the table. My deck is cedar and we sealed it with the same product. It's an oil based seal, so I'm using the same seal actually on this table for the Joe Jr. As well as the one that I'm showing here in the video for the two Kamado Joe Classic 3s. This is really heavy, so you're going to want to phone a friend or a couple of friends, lift the table into place, lift the concrete. Next, we're just going to disassemble the Kamado Joes, remove the firebox and all the extra components that add some extra weight, make it easier so you can lift it down into the holes without scratching any of the side. And repeat it if you're like me and super pumped to have two of these bad boys. Do the same process again for the second one. Push it into place, you're ready to enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.